in that regard. Your primary detox organs are your liver. Your gallbladder will actually excrete things out. So remember, your liver will actually excrete a lot of things out, and it's really important that it's functioning properly, and your kidneys as well. So these are your, I mean, obviously, carbon dioxide and things like that out of your lungs, but the key things that actually get rid of things out of the body are pretty much those organs, and they have to be working properly. I mean, I'll give you an example: manganese. People can get manganese toxicity on a plant-based diet if they've got a gallbladder issue, for the simple reason 90% of it gets excreted from the bile. So if you don't have enough taurine and choline, because they don't in their diet, then they can't excrete heavy metals. Heavy metals is definitely somebody that's been plant-based for many years and has got a lot of derangements and is unable to properly get rid of these things. And the methylation system, they can have an MTHFR like I have and have an inability to methylate and get rid of things as well, break down estrogens and xenoestrogens and all sorts of things. So a lot of things can cause derangements. So it's important to get the right nutrition to fix and to work on fixing those organs to function properly. And sometimes there's a bit of time lag that is required for that to happen. In that regard, a lot of the animal nutrition, like selenium, that you'll find in animal nutrients in particular, but you do find it in some plants, that is an important chelator of many of these heavy metals, like cadmium, like basically mercury or things of that sort, can actually be removed as well. They can be chelated by a thing called selenide. It's a modified version of selenium, sort of a selenium peptide thing. And that can actually chelate, grab, and take these things out. And it takes them out of the bile in many cases. That means your bile needs to be working properly in that regard. And if that's not working properly, and then there's also calcium D-glutarate, which is another, so calcium, and then D hyphen GLUCARATE, I think. And that also will prevent, it also helps in breaking down xenoestrogens and also prevents sort of reabsorption. And there are some bacteria in the colon that have the ability of breaking down the the bile, sort of when bile salts are actually envelop these things and are taking them out. This can actually be broken down, part of this mechanism, to get rid of heavy metals and toxins. And some of these bacteria can do this sort of supplement. Also helps improve the detoxification pathways in the liver, but also in the gut. It actually suppresses these and protects and prevents these bacteria from doing this and then causing the reabsorption. And how many of these bacteria and which strains you have is just pot luck. Some people are unlucky, they have them, other people don't, and they don't require this supplement. So it depends. It's just one of those things. If people are basically getting reabsorption and we're doing blood tests and they've still got these things circulating, and we've done an ultrasound on their liver, their liver over here, get it right, Harry, and their liver gallbladder works properly, then it could be the bacteria. Then they'd have to do a gut microbiome. You can see how this can become complicated to work out exactly what the hell and how and all that, because then you have to do a test, like a fecal sample, to find out, oh, we've got these strains. Okay, these strains cause a problem. We need that supplement to prevent the reabsorption. And so that's a problem. And then, there's a whole protocol of how to eliminate these. Some people think that, certain types of bacterial enemas, sticking up things up your ass, just to use the plain English vernacular, for For those who enjoy that, anyway, it's probably okay. But for those who don't, it's probably not a comfortable thing. So that's sort of another thing that some people use to basically change the gut the colon's that microbiome composition to reduce this capacity. So even if you get exposed in future and you're doing a proper diet, you won't have enough of the stuff to cause reabsorption. So these sort of things can be complicated, as you can see. It's not a straightforward thing, and we don't want to have to be taking a number of these supplements forever, in a sense. So we want to basically get things to work properly. So depending on, and so sometimes we need to test. And that's why I say, when somebody does a consultancy, they may ask you to go and test for these things. They may say, well, go to a naturopathic doctor and ask for these tests, and then come back to me, and I will then, get their advice, but then come back to me, and I will look in it and provide you with something outside the box that they're not aware of, because many of them are not. They're not up to date on this sort of stuff. Some are. It depends. A lot of the low carb doctors are pretty cluey about this. So if you find a naturopath who is a low carb doctor, a lot of them know a lot about these pathways, and so you don't need to consult. Just go to one of them. They do the testing, and they provide you with the appropriate, supplemental or protocol to deal with a problem. Usually they have standard protocols in some regards. So that's how you get around it.